Well, hello there, my dear watch friends. Thanks for tuning in. And you know it's that time of the year again. Flowers are blooming, temperatures are rising, you can finally wear shorts out in public again. And the lucky ones of us who have the time and money available will be soon able to do some traveling again and to go on vacation. Now, what is the most important thing to have when going on a vacation? That's right, the perfect watch. And what is a killer feature your watch needs to possess to be a good travel companion? A second time zone, also known as a GMT function. Because you're gonna have the local time of your holiday destination, and you also need to know the time back home. And what you don't want to do is having to calculate your home time every time you take a glance at your watch. So that's 4 hours, 1, 2, oh fuck, the other direction. So it's 2, 3, 5.5. Hey mom, it's me. What do you mean you're sleeping? Who wants to do math on vacation, right? So you need that second time zone on your watch. Now me personally, I think the GMT function on the watch is right after the date window the second most useful complication a watch can have. Yet I find it surprisingly difficult to get a hold of a good GMT watch. So if you want to go on vacation and don't have a GMT watch yet, I'm here to help. Relax, book the ticket already, I figured it all out. I know which is the perfect travel watch for you to own. Now here's how this is going to go down. I have made a pre-selection of the best GMT watches I could find. Right over there. The criteria for this pre-selection were, first, it has to be a mechanical watch, right? We're not doing quartz here on this channel. I mean, come on, we got some dignity. So only mechanical watches with a GMT function, of course, at least, or even a world timer would be good. We just need to be able to display 2 time zones simultaneously. And the second criteria is the watch needs to be from a well-known brand with a good reputation. So, let me tell you what we're working with here. I actually don't need glasses for reading, I just do it for the effect. Let me read this important list to you. Okay, I'm starting in the top left corner, going from left to right. We have the Rolex GMT Master 2, also known as the Pepsi, the Rolex Explorer 2. Then from Omega we have the Aqua Terra GMT and the Omega World Timer. We got the Patek Aquanaut Travel Time and the Patek Nautilus Travel Time. From Audemars Piguet we have the Royal Oak Offshore GMT, then the FP Journe Chronomètre Résonance. From Bell & Ross we got the BR-V293 GMT. We got the Cartier Drive, a Hamilton Khaki Aviation, the Oris Pro Diver GMT, Tudor Black Bay GMT. From Grand Seiko we got the SBGJ237 and the SBGJ211. Then JLC Master Control Geographic and JLC Polaris Chronograph World Time. We got from Vacheron Constantin the Overseas Dual Time. We got a Richard Mille RM 1105, and last but not least, a Bulgari Octo Finissimo Chrono GMT. Now, a GMT function alone doesn't make a good travel watch just yet. It is the most basic function every travel watch needs to possess. But there are a few more things a good travel watch needs to be able to do. And I've thought long and hard about this, and I came up with 5 tasks a GMT watch needs to be able to do in order to become a great travel watch. So let's get right into it. Task number 1. The watch should not get you killed. That's right. That's the most important thing your travel watch needs to do. Well, besides telling the time. It should not get you killed. Now let's be honest. Most of those vacation spots you guys are choosing, well, I mean, they got nice beaches and all, but it can get a little bit shady if you walk down the wrong street. Maybe even if you stay at the beach a little bit too long after sunset. So your watch Shouldn't make you a target for thieves that might want to take it off you and in the process just get rid of your body in the ocean. Okay? So I hate to do that, but the Rolexes, they need to go. They are by no means the most expensive watches in our pre-selection, but everybody knows them and they can spot them from a mile away. You really want to walk through a shady neighborhood with a Pepsi on your wrist? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so let's cross the Rolexes off my list here. Pepsi gone, Explorer 2 gone. Also gone is the two-door Black Bay GMT. Don't tell me that's not a lookalike of a Pepsi. And you really want to get stabbed for a two-door? No sir, you don't. Also gone, unfortunately, is the Nautilus chronograph travel time. 5 years ago, most people never heard of Patek Philippe. But now that even the base model of the Nautilus is fetching $100,000 on the grey market, well, word travels fast. Now you might have noticed that the most expensive watch in our pre-selection, the Richard Mille, is still on the list. Here's why. If somebody spots you with a Richard Mille, one of two things are gonna happen. First, he doesn't know what the fuck it is. Second, he thinks you're wearing a fake Richard Mille. I mean, come on. No ram on you. I include myself here, by the way. If somebody spots me with a Richard Mille on my wrist, well, I don't have one, but if I had one, they for sure would think it's fake. So I don't think the Richard Mille poses any danger. Now on to task number 2. A good travel watch needs to be able to be worn in the ocean for long periods of time. It needs to be waterproof, of course, and no leather straps. Well, it might be alligator. An alligator lives in the water. Dude, that thing isn't alive anymore. You're aware of that, right? It's dead. And even if the water doesn't damage the leather, you're still gonna have that funky smell on it. Relieves us from the FP Journe leather strap, Cartier Drive leather strap, JLC Master Control Geographic, fantastic watch. If you're looking for a dual time zone watch to be worn in the office, you should really consider this one. For travel watch, not a good choice. Also gone Polaris JLC. So, on to task number 3. Your travel watch should not scream douchebag. Alright? And I hate to break it to you, but big watches scream douchebag. And I'd consider everything above 42 millimeters a big watch. Now if you're a big dude and you have those big, thick wrists, I bow before your genetic superiority. Please excuse that we are not catering to your manly needs here on the show. But most people have tiny little girly wrists like I do. I got 16 centimeters. And on a 16 centimeter wrist, maybe even on a 17 centimeter wrist, everything above 42 millimeter just looks too big. So let's see. Man, I'm getting a headache here. Omega Aquaterra, 43 millimeters. Douchebag. Omega World Timer, 43 millimeters. Douchebag. I'm sorry, I'll stop now. Hamilton Khaki Aviation, 44 millimeters. Gone. Oris Pro Diver GMT, 49 millimeters. Who's wearing that watch? Shaquille O'Neal? That's the demographic? Gone. By the way, also gone is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore GMT. Because I just realized that watch doesn't even fucking exist. I must have mixed it up with the overseas maybe. Watches that don't exist, also gone. Grand Seiko SBG J237, 44 millimeters. Gone, unfortunately, because take a look at that watch. The bezel, the white and blue, looks fantastic, right? Wow, that one really cleaned out our pre-selection here. Now, if we would have included Hublot watches in our pre-selection, this would be the time to cross them all out. Luckily, we don't have to. So, on to task number 4. The watch needs to help you to get to know the local ladies. Like imagine yourself hanging out at a pool party, flexing a little bit with your watch, letting the girls know. No, I'm just joking. That's not category number 4. Listen to me. I know it hurts to hear this, but women, all of them, they do not care about your watch. They don't know the brand, they don't know the model, they don't know the price of it. And if they would know the price, they probably would think you're crazy for spending that amount of money on a watch. So 99.999% of all women, they don't give a shit about your watch. A watch will never help you getting to know a girl. So on to the real task number 4 for your travel watch. The watch can be banged around. You're on vacation. You're gonna do some fun activities. Maybe you're gonna go surfing, canyoning, who knows, paragliding. There are lots and lots of fun things to do. And you don't want to think about your watch all the time while you're doing those fun activities. That will take away from it. The watch needs to be robust and be able to take a bit of a beating. Now, Bulgari Octo Finissimo Chrono GMT, this is one of the, if not the slimmest chronograph on the market. I could be wrong here, but I assume this is not a very tough watch. So I wouldn't feel comfortable banging this thing around. That's what she said. You might ask yourself, why is this watch even on the list? That's a chronograph, not a GMT. Well, take a look at the subdial at 3 o'clock. That is not related to the chronograph. This is actually the second time zone. It keeps running independently of the chronograph function, which I find a really cool feature. If it would be a bit cheaper, I'd actually consider buying this watch. Now the Vacheron, they are not exactly known for durable watches, but I think the Overseas is. So while it might hurt you a little bit to bang around such an expensive watch, I think the movement and the case can withstand it. So the Vacheron remains on the list. Now the Patek Aquanaut Travel Time, that's a tough call here. I mean, it has a full balanced bridge. It is a sports watch, but I don't know if it can withstand a good beating. Definitely not on the level a Rolex can. But I think on this watch you could take a chance. Because what's the worst case scenario? You buy it, you beat it around, the movement gets all fucked up, you have a 2-year warranty. You get it fixed and you sell it for double what you paid for on the grey market. So the Aquanaut for now remains on the list. So does the Grand Seiko SBGJ. I think that's a relatively robust watch. And of course the Bell & Ross can stay too. And Richard Mille, I mean, there are RMs out there you can wear when golfing and playing tennis. It doesn't get any more robust than that. So on to the final task for our perfect travel watch. Task number 5. The watch should leave you with some money left to actually pay for the vacation, right? It can't break the bank. Price is a factor, which brings us right back to the RM. And it's a goner. I don't even know the price of that watch, but it's too much. That I know for a fact. So let's keep going. Vacheron Overseas Dual Time. I really like the watch, but 25,000, little steep. Gotta say no, that's too expensive. Then back to the Patek Aquanaut Travel Time. I really like this watch. 35,000, definitely too much. But consider, if you can get it at retail for 35,000, you'll be able to sell it later on for 70. So you actually make money. See what I did there? If you can get it at retail, I'd say it's not too expensive. The travel time stays on the list. Grand Seiko SBGJ 211, 9,000. Second hand, if you try to sell this later on, you can probably get 6 maybe. Well, I mean, it's a beautiful watch and you get great quality. Considering this, I think 9,000 is a fair price. But we're talking about this stuff for a long time already now, so we need to move on to the finals. and in the finals there are only 2 competitors. So I'd say, even though it's a fair price, it's still on the higher side. Let's get rid of the Grand Seiko, which leaves us with the final 2. The Patek Philippe Aquanaut Travel Time and the watch you probably didn't see coming, the Bell & Ross, I need to look on the paper for this, BRV293 GMT. Now let's do a side-by-side comparison and see which one performs better in these 5 categories. So, first one, doesn't get you killed. Well, don't think many people are able to spot an Aquanaut, but if they do, they know it's big money. Bell & Ross, on the other hand, is the safer bet when it comes to that. So, point for the Bell & Ross. Task number 2. Can be worn in the ocean. I think we got a tie here. Bell & Ross, I think 120 meters, 100 meters water resistance. That's enough for sure. The Patek, it's called the Aquanaut, so there's no doubt about the water resistance there. Task number 2, can be worn in the ocean. We got a tie. Let's move on to task number 3. Doesn't scream douchebag. Well, they both don't. So, another tie. Let's move on to category number 4. Can be banged around. Now let me ask you a question. Let's imagine you're on vacation and you're about to do some kind of activity. Let's say you go hiking, all right? With which of these 2 watches would you feel more comfortable? It's the Bell & Ross, right? 2-0 for the Bell & Ross so far. Category number 5 leaves you with some money to pay the plane ticket. Well, even though you can make money with the Aquanaut later on, at the time being, if you go with the Bell & Ross, if you choose the version with a rubber strap, you're gonna pay about $3,500. That's a damn good price. So I present to you the unlikely winner of the award Best Travel Watch in the Business, the Bell & Ross BRV293 GMT. I mean, look at it, it's beauty. I really like the look of that watch. It has a bit of a vintage touch, right? With the domed crystal, 41 millimeters, almost perfect size. You can put it on the rubber strap. Good price, good quality. I don't need to say anything more. That's a perfect travel watch right there. So I hope I was able to help you with finding a good watch for your next vacation. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next time.